We're here again on another episode of our TRACCS Webinar Series. Today we'll be addressing safety at work and electronic roadway worker protection. We are joined here today by PNR Railworks and Miller Ingenuity people. Our board member Arash Barzagar is also here with us, and Arash, if you're there, welcome you. Thank you for coming here today.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Andrea. Welcome to another TRACCS webinar as part of our web series. We have been trying to continuously have webinars in order to share new technology and innovative solutions and lessons learned within our industry in order to improve future project deliveries and safety. With that, I want to welcome today's speaker from PNR Railworks and Miller Ingenuity. Today's webinar about safety at work, electronic roadway worker protection, which is going to use the roadway protection system. Going to be focusing on existing projects, why procedures are failing to protect railway workers. How can this system improve the safety, efficiency, and accuracy for protecting railway, and also how this technology protect railways in active work zones, rail yards. Some of these are already being used in projects in the US and Canada. And with that, I'm going to introduce our speakers. Kevin Garben, Technology Services from Railworks Corp. Kevin has over a decade of rail and transit technology ranging from safety, security, and track inspection technologies. Railworks Technology Services has been working with service partner companies like Miller Ingenuity to bring valuable solution to the North American rail and transit market. Also with him, he has Brent Fransen, technical sales manager from Miller Ingenuity, and has been a supplier to the freight rail and transit industry for over 9 years, with several years of experience in product manufacturing. Brent and his team bring also industry knowledge, especially TRACCS. So with that, and no further delay, hand over to Kevin and Brent to start the presentation.
Thanks, Arash. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, everybody, for joining the call today. Today, we're going to talk about roadway worker protection systems. You'll hear that word over and over again. Oftentimes, we'll interchange roadway worker protection with RWP. So we'll be hearing that acronym quite a bit. We just want to talk to you about, why we think these systems are important and why we believe they should be integrated into your current safety plan. So as Arash mentioned, I'm Kevin Garben. I'm the Director of Technical Services for Railworks. Railworks oversees a lot of different offices throughout the U.S. We have in Canada, so all of North America, we have roughly 50 offices. And I'm also joined by Brent Fransen, who is from Miller Ingenuity, who is the company that makes Zone Guard. I'll be going over more of the reasons why we believe a product like this is good for RWP, and Brent will get into a lot of the application and technical aspects of specifically how Zone Guard addresses RWP. So we're going to talk a bit on, why safety rules and procedures are, why are, there's still near misses. Why do accidents still happen? And how can a product like a roadway worker protection technology provide an additional level of safety for railway workers? Ultimately, a system like this, we want to improve the safety, efficiency, and, accuracy of the work. You may already know about some of the current safety alerts and recommendations coming out of the NTSB. We've seen issues from the FRA and some communication from TC regarding roadway worker safety. It's really important to note that most of the reported cases and accidents are and near misses. They're almost always caused by human error, right? Human error, comes in many forms, right? It can be complacency, can be distracted, can be inexperience, and it could be simple miscommunication. And many of these factors can happen at any time to any person. It's not a specific group of people or a specific type of work. Accidents can happen. So we're looking for systems out there that can help make us as human beings less vulnerable to accidents. With a technology like electronic roadway work protection, we can create a better and more robust safety plan to create a more productive working environment. You may notice on the screen, in the U.S. specifically, we've definitely seen some notices come out, and actually in California, a secondary roadway worker protection system like this, like ZoneGuard, is mandated in the state of California. So with all these different ways of solving these problems, this is what we've come up with, is an electronic RWP system. So again, electronic roadway worker protection system. You may hear us refer to ZoneGuard. That's the product you're actually going to see today. And we'll show you how current customers have implemented this system into their safety plan. ZoneGuard has been engineered to be a secondary layer of protection for workers. It doesn't take the place of any existing procedures they may have in place. It's a secondary system to add another layer of security. ZoneGuard specifically does have a patented combination of detection technology that includes LiDAR, radar, infrared cameras, and accelerometers. And those technologies work together to specifically detect track vehicles that could be entering a work zone. And it's also, having these different technologies mixed into one specific piece of hardware that keep it from creating false alerts, right? So that people can trust the system, that it's verified, that it's definitely detecting a vehicle approaching the work zone. Generally, the ZoneGuard system has three main components. You have a train detection module that detects the trains. You have a train alert module that will alert everyone within the work zone that a train has been detected. Then you have your wearable devices that workers can use, and also your road worker in charge or person in charge can wear. So next up, I'm going to be switching this over to Brent. He's going to go through the different versions of ZoneGuard and how they work differently for different situations to protect railway workers. He's also going to explain a little bit about a couple of customers examples that we have that are using this in operating environments today. Brent's going to go over our fixed system, which is a permanently installed secondary detection system that's put out across the entire railway. We also have a portable kit that's for setting up your work zone, and when you're done with your work zone, you can disassemble it, take it away with you. And then yard protection, which is for protecting yard workers. Brent?
All right. Thank you very much, Kevin. And also thank you, Andrea and Arash, for your introductions. Once again, I am Brent Fransen with Miller Ingenuity, the maker of the ZoneGuard product. The first product I'd like to go over is our ZoneGuard Fix System. Our ZoneGuard Fix System is kind of our Cadillac or Rolls-Royce of our systems that allows complete network protection and monitoring with the least amount of setup. It also has a suite of features and functions that will help improve the safety, efficiency, and accuracy of railway workers. Typically, we see this installed in large metropolitan areas. All right. So with our fixed system, sorry, Kevin, if you'd be able to go back. No worries, no worries. As you can see, with our fixed system, it is mainly comprised of a TDM and our wearables, which Kevin introduced earlier. Some additional components or equipment we offer are our ZoneGuard web portal, which I'll discuss later on. We also have our ZoneGuard onboard device, which is mounted inside the cab of the locomotive to alert the operator when they are approaching a work zone. This is not a necessary component, but is an optional feature that we provide. This device will also allow your company to monitor the location of the locomotive within the network. We also offer a solar charging hardware in case AC power is not available. All right, next slide. Okay, so here's a diagram of a typical fixed system would be set up. With the installation, the TDMs are installed at regular intervals to provide train detection information. The onboard devices installed in the cab are there to alert the train operators. All this setup forms a linear network, or the backbone along this rail line. Once everything has been installed, we then configure the system. The TDMs are configured based on location, track specific information to create a customer specific track profile and detection profile. Depending on where your poles are mounted and distance to the track, we'll customize that so that way you're getting the most accurate and reliable detection. With this configuration, we are able to give customer-specific warnings, for example, 15 seconds, or if you require a 45-second. All of that is configurable with our software. Go ahead, Kevin. All right, so just to kind of show you how our fixed system gets put into use, workers will connect anywhere throughout the system and go through their sync process. During this process, workers will get a confirmation that they are connected within the network, and this will show up on their handheld devices. An additional feature, if customers choose to, they can also have the installed TDMs have their lights flashing, so that way there's an additional confirmation on the road workers that yes, they are connected to the system. And this also provides additional notification to locomotive drivers in case they don't have an onboard unit. With this system, there is consistent and reliable alerts that are generated thanks to our patented sensor technology and in tandem with the onboard devices. The best part about this system is that there's no user setup or configuration. You just go out there, sync up, and you're good to go. And this allows your workers to focus on the job. Should a device happen to lose connection, the workers will be notified, especially the employee in charge will be notified of any issues in the system. The best part about this system as well is if you are moving along the track, this work parameter will move with you. All right, one of the optional features I mentioned earlier is our ZoneGuard web portal. If you have a need to monitor the system from your office, this is a feature that we offer. Some of the different things that you're able to do with this system is system monitoring, let you check in on communication network health, make sure that everything is working properly. TDM, TAM location status, individual location health, individual component health. This also allows you maintain the entire system as well as troubleshoot any problems. With this, we are able to remotely connect to all devices, provide any necessary firmware updates, download any log files to make sure we find out what has happened in a particular situation, which is written down there in the data collection and reporting. Another feature that this is a tool to increase the safety and efficiency and accuracy of the rail workers. So this tool will allow train location data and reporting, lone worker location, work group location and data, schedule adherence, work block adherence, system fault reporting, and user permission levels.
Sorry, Brent.
Yeah.
I have a question here from Colin Smith. He's asking, what is the SIL for the system?
What is SIL?
The safety integrity level. So there is, I don't believe there is any specific safety integrity level with this system, right? We've built it to be fail-safe, but it hasn't been through any SIL testing.
Correct. We have based our system on fail-safe principles and technologies. All right, next slide, please. All right. This is an example of our Zone Guard fixed system that was put into use in Baltimore, Maryland. As you see, the green and red dots show the location of 115 installed TDMs and TAMs along 60 miles of track. The benefits of this setup is complete track coverage. One of the convenience factors is, like I mentioned earlier, throughout this entire stretch of track, workers are able to go in, sync up with the system, and move wherever they need to within that system and continuously be protected.
That would also add the, the amount of logging and things like that that go into that type of system, right?
Correct. You are able to see what's happening at each location, where locomotives are moving throughout the entire system, where your workers are able to, or where they are currently at, whether they're where they need to be. If someone's gone off of the system, you're able to track all that. All right, so just as a recap, here are some of the benefits that you'll see with our fixed system. It uses our multiple diverse sensors, which will provide you an accurate and consistent detection. No setup is needed. A single consistent configured alert time per customer specifications. It allows you to repeat and have constant protection of your workers. The other nice thing about this system, it is armed 24/7. There's nothing you need to do. When you need it, it's there. It is based on the fail-safe principles, where if errors should occur, you will be notified. You can also see that in the system, and also troubleshoot where it's at.
Sorry for interrupting you again, Brent, but there's another question here that's specific to what you just mentioned. Kumar Surava is asking, 60 miles, 115 units. So does the range cover up to 2,500 feet each unit?
We typically like to set up our units about every 1,000 feet or so. It can go further than that depending on the situation, if there's any buildings or obstacles in the way, but a standard distance we like to sit at is 1,000 yards or 1,000 feet per device, but it is capable of going further.
Thank you.
Ms. Brent, on that, the maximum range or distance for each unit?
Us in-house, we don't have an exact number, but we have gotten to 2,000 feet. But for safety reasons, we like to stay within that 1,000.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so the next use of this system, we have our portable kit. This is meant for temporary work zones. One of the features is that this is all contained in one nice package. We know that all work zones aren't the same, and oh, sorry, I had an issue there. We realize not all work zones are the same, which is why we created this portable kit. It is easy to use. Setup is consistent and repeatable, and this process of setup also helps control any human error. All right, so the ZoneGuard portable kit is comprised of 3 main components. Not all components are needed for this. Only a portable detection model and a employee in charge is required. One of the options that we have for our portable kit is a battery backup for any jobs that might require more battery life. And as I said before, each of these kits are stored in an easy portable Pelican case. It's on wheels, so it's really easy to get from location to location. Each of these units within this case are under 5 pounds. I believe our TDMs and TAMs, they're right at about 5 pounds, and our handhelds are actually probably closer to 2-3 pounds. So everything's very lightweight. The runtime of, or battery life, I should say, of the PTMs and PTAMs are 20 plus hours. And as I said, if you need to have more time added, we do have our portable battery backups, which will give you another 48 hours of protection. Another bonus or plus side of this kit is scalable for whatever the job needs. So you can have a large kit up to 20 devices. If that particular job is smaller, you may only need to use 4 of those devices. The system will work whatever size you need up to that 20 units.
So Brent, the standard kit that is available, that's around 3,800 feet, correct?
That is correct. That usually is comprised of 2 detection modules, 4 alert modules, and then 2 worker wearables, 2 flagger wearables, and then 2 employee in charges. All right, so this is a typical setup and operation of our portable kit. As you can see, the portable TDM is placed in the gauge of the track, face up, and then you power it on. The way it's oriented, we have lights on either side of the detection module, and that is facing up or down the track, so that way, in case a locomotive comes by, they will see that and be notified of a work crew. Once the TDMs are in place, we then in place and powered on. The TAMs are also placed and powered on. Next slide, please. Thank you. And as you can see, installation is simple. All that's required for like our TDMs are just placing it in the gauge of the track. We do offer security measures where if you want to bolt it down in case someone sees a flashing light and would like to walk away with it, we do offer that. And also our TAMs, we have quick mounts where you're able to just mount it on a pole and you're good to go. Setup and putting things in place takes seconds.
And then for the announcement modules, you can just lay them on the ground too if you want, right? They're just they don't need to be specifically mounted anywhere.
That's correct. Correct. They do not need to be mounted anywhere specific, as long as they're able to be within range of the next unit. That's one of the main things you want to focus on.
So,
All right.
sorry, this is Arash again. Another question is, so what's the maximum distance you can cover with this portable unit with 20 devices?
As we stated earlier, with our standard kit comprised of the 4 TAMs, 2 TDMs, you're able to get 3,800 feet. Now you are able to get further distance than that if you wish to have all those devices be the portable detection modules and the portable alert modules, and just add another 1,000 feet per device up to those 20 units.
Correct. So the unit on the right, you can use those to daisy chain further to get more distance out of the system.
Okay,
up to 20 total devices, including the train detection, train announcement, and wearables.
okay, thanks.
That's correct.
There's another specific question, sorry. Kumar is asking, then this unit is applicable for only low-speed train?
No, this is applicable for, I guess we haven't tested a max speed, but it has been detecting trains over 50 miles an hour. And a lot of that's going to be determined on your own company's rules and regulations on how far out you'll need to set up those devices to give the appropriate warning. It's similar to what you would do for your flaggers, wherever you would have them set up to give you the appropriate warning time. And it should detect trains at any speed based off of our sensors, our 3 sensor technology. It is very good at picking up any sort of vibration and obviously anything going over top of it.
Yeah, and obviously every customer's trains and requirements a little bit different. So sometimes there's some tuning and things to do, but it's tunable.
Yep. All right. So then once all the main devices are turned on, you will then power on the wearables from your safety zone, and the employee in charge will start the sync process. What happens when he does this? It'll go through and it'll check to see all the devices that are turned on that you are currently using in the system. It will then keep track of who it needs to talk to. And once the sync process has been completed, sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. It will notify the employee in charge of all the different devices on there, and it will scroll through and actually tell you the quantity of devices. You can also go from the employee in charge, check the network health of the rest of the devices. So if you see something is getting low on power or about to fail or getting out of range, the employee in charge will be notified or are able to see that. All right. So here's an example of when that train goes over top of the TDN, as you can see in the gauge of the track there. It will communicate with every device in that system and generate an alert. These alerts will be cleared by each individual handheld, acknowledging that they have heard the alert, and this is also recorded in the logs of each unit. The train will go past the work zone. Once everything is clear, the employee in charge with his gray wearable is able to do a global clear, notifying the rest of the workers that it is safe to go back into the work zone. An additional feature, if there is an issue or if you choose to, these alerts can also be generated by our flagger units, which are those yellow handheld devices on the outer edges of the work zone, as well as the employee in charge. All right, so some of the benefits of this portable kit: it's useful where the fixed system may not always be possible or practical. It has multiple and diverse sensors, providing you accurate and reliable train detection. The sync process is very simple. The sync process takes about 90 seconds, and the fact that it can monitor the health of the system is very beneficial. Setup time is very short. And once again, it also does keep track of logs in case an accident were to happen. You can see if the device picked it up or if your flaggers were actually flagging a locomotive coming through the work zone. All right, the third application of the ZoneGuard product is our yard protection system. This is a permanently installed system for the protections of workers within a rail yard. With this system, the main components are going to be your yard detection module, your yard alert module, and your RWIC or employee in charge. With this system, in the particular customer situation that we installed, the alerts were generated by a locomotive coming into the yard or being pushed into pushed into the yard. Sorry. The detection modules will determine if the units are moving in or out of the yard, and then it will then send an alert to our alert modules, which covers the entire yard. The connectivity of this system is very, very simple. Users only need to power on the unit, and the unit will automatically sync with the system. This will give them a real-time connection status. Just like all of our other systems, they will see that they are connected and protected by the system in place. For this system, we also have an auto clear built into it. So after a locomotive has come into the yard, it will automatically clear the alert for the entire system. No clearing is needed by the employee holding the handheld. If there's no one connected to the system, it will enter low power or rest mode for battery life. Here you'll see an example of one of our customers where we installed our yard protection system. As you can see on the right-hand side, by the 2 green markers will denote the TDMs that are in place. In this particular situation, this customer was having an issue with locomotives entering their yard from the main line unannounced. So they wanted a way to protect their yard workers. The 2 TDMs will detect the train coming into the yard, which will then send an alert to the rest of the TAMs, which are also marked or noted by the red markers along there. As you can see, the range of those devices covers the entire yard there, as well as the employees that may be working anywhere in the facility. Benefits of this, their workers now can work without having to worry about unannounced locomotives into the system. It is very convenient that it auto clears as well. And our system will also determine whether a locomotive is moving in or out. So that way, if it's moving out of the yard, a detection will not be generated, just so there isn't the chance of complacency in the workers.
So we'll that's kind of the thank you, Brent, for giving a little bit details about all the 3 different types of systems and the different scenarios. Kind of wanted to go through these different situations, and as you guys are evaluating these or maybe looking at an RWP system, different factors you may want to account for. There's different things that you should obviously be aware of, right? So durability, it's got to be an outdoor system. It's going to be rough and tumble, right? We see things get accidentally run over, and these things kind of happen, right? We worry about weight and portability. Is ease of use? Is it repeatable? Is it something that's easy to carry? Is it easy to charge? Along the lines of charging and battery life, like how long will the system last? Can I get through an entire job? If the job lasts 48 hours, do we have enough battery life to handle that capacity? And logging, right? So it's great that we're getting all these warnings and things like that, but can we get logging about where the equipment was, what time was an event happened, was an alert generated, and having that to be able to recreate that scenario, God forbid that something actually happened, is very useful. Multi-sensor train detection, technology has come a long way with these kinds of things. I think that it's important to not get a false positive. So if you only have one method of detecting a train coming through, where it could be, mistaken, a person could be mistaken, a bird, or any type of thing, you want to make sure that it's an actual train, coming in the system. That way you don't have people getting complacent because they're ignoring the alerts because there's been so many alerts. The other big thing, is kind of talks to you about, P&R Railworks, as well as, remote and local support. So, making sure that, somebody is supplying you with spare parts, somebody's supplying you with local support, local training, and how quickly someone's able to respond if you need, any assistance. And I think one of the big takeaways here is that, we're not really focused on our product specifically, right? We're just trying to promote this technology and make sure that that there is this type of technology out there. Obviously, we're huge advocates of it. Railworks, we partner with Miller Ingenuity because we truly believe in the technology and what it can bring as far as safety for our workers. A few more considerations different from the portable system is the permanent system. That Brent showed us there. Is it 24/7? Is it easy to use? So that's one thing I really like about ZoneGuard's fixed system. It's permanent. So if I need to go out into the criminal work zone, it's easy to do with the wearable device. It's always on. Again, all the reporting and logging is there. You have largely the same hardware, so you have the same multi-sensor train detection, and again, that remote and local support is also valuable. So, my final thoughts on this, and we'll definitely open it up to more questions here, is that, there's still near misses out there, even with all the processes and procedures and things like that. We still have accidents that happen. We're trying to come up with ways, as technology evolves, to apply technology to keep those things kind of from happening, right? So whether somebody's out there doing inspection or maintenance or construction, how can we make the best use of our time out there and keep people safe? And that, to also let you guys know that there's different scenarios for each one of these, right? So Brent touched on all three that ZoneGuard covers. A permanently installed system where it's great. You're gonna set up the infrastructure and have this 24/7 electronic RWP system in place. The portable kit, right? That's something useful, especially if you're just going out to do maybe a track inspection, doing maintenance in a specific area of track. Again, it's easy to set up. It's very easy to carry, right? Throw in the back of a pickup truck, take it out to site, set it up, and you can set up your work zone in literally a couple minutes. And then, the yard worker protection, that's a little new. I think that's really interesting too, about, trains coming off a main line, going into a yard and letting people know that a train is approaching. I know a couple people had some really good questions during our presentation there. Is there any more questions?
Thank you so much for the presentation. I see that Mark Lecapelain has some questions. Do you want to ask them?
Yeah, I could go ahead. I wrote a couple in there. Curious if the system is able to pick up like a high rail track unit. So like a high rail pickup truck or a tamper or something like that going through the work limits besides just a train.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the demonstration scenarios that we had at TRACCS was utilizing a high rail vehicle to actually go over top of our portable system, and it did pick it up and set it off.
And I had a follow-up question to that. Is the system, will it detect if that high rail unit stops within kind of the range of deployment? Because the example we have here, if a track inspector is going along in his truck and he sees something and needs to stop and get out of the truck, the sensors will likely detect that there's something on its way when in reality it's stopped. And if in a multi-mile application, would everybody with that portable sensor now get an alert saying he's still on his way?
So the detection unit will detect when that high rail vehicle goes over top of that unit. If it stops on top of that unit, the unit will still be sending alerts because it will be feeling the vibration of probably the motor of the high rail vehicle, as well as seeing it over top of the unit itself. So they'll continually get alerts if that's where they stop. If they stop past the unit, it will not generate another alert, but that will be up to the employee in charge to actually know if the high rail vehicle has passed the work zone to actually give the all clear that it's safe to go back to work.
Okay, and then, sorry, just a last question. Curious if the portable systems communicate with the online portal, or if that's just available for the permanent setups.
As of right now, that is something that we only have available with our permanently installed system.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Arash, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Kevin and Brent, for an interesting presentation. I had a few questions. One is, are the alerts from the devices captured or recorded? Like if, let's say, if an accident occurred, would you know if the detector actually provided a warning or not?
Yes, we do have log files which are stored within the unit. So anytime an action happens or there's something that warrants a notification, whether the device is turned on, it's turned off, whether the TDM creates a detection or an alarm, or whether or not the flagger unit or set the alarm off, it will record those with a timestamp to show when everything happened. So you would be able to pull the logs from those devices and piece together the situation of what happened.
All right, thank you. I have a few more questions, but I think there are others, so I'll wait later. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Rash.
I received a message with another question here. How does the system react to someone leaving the work area? And what do we need to do? What would we need to do to enter back in?
So for example, if an employee is headed out for lunch and they leave the system, if they leave their device on, it will show that they disconnect from the system. This will send an alert to the employee in charge or the roadway worker in charge, notifying that a unit has dropped from the system. Ideally, though, the employee in charge should know of any particular individuals going to lunch, so it shouldn't catch them by surprise. But once the employee does come back from lunch, they will resync up with the system automatically if they haven't powered it off. It'll just resync, and it will then also show on the employee in charge that they are back to the original system unit numbers. And what I mean by that is when you start up or sync the process, you'll have a total number of devices that you should have connected to the network. When one drops off, let's say there's 10 devices. Let's say one drops off, you'll show 9 of 10 devices. When that employee comes back, it'll come back up and tell you that you're at 10 of 10 devices connected to the network.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And then James has raised his hand. James, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Andrea, and great presentation. Certainly another layer of safety to make sure people go home as they arrived at work. One of the questions that I have is relative to the Rail Safety Improvement Act of 2008 and the interface to positive train control. So does this system have any hooks and handles into the system as currently deployed, or is that a future development?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. The question that I really am looking for an answer is, RSIA 2008 specifies that you've got to protect railway workers and through the positive train control system. So as your system is implemented today, does it have any hooks and handles into the PTC system as deployed by the North American railroads? And if not, are there future plans to integrate that into positive train control?
Oh, all right. Thank you, James. As of right now, our system is not set up to be configurable with positive train control. This is a conversation that we have had here at Mill Ingenuity and are discussing that as of right now.
Okay, so kind of in an incubation stage then.
Correct.
Specifically to PTC, yeah.
Correct.
All right, very good. Thank you. That answers my question. And Raya, back to you.
Thank you so much, James. And I have another hand up from Kumar. Kumar, go ahead. Kumar, you may unmute yourself and ask your question if you still have it. Okay, I think that, okay, we have Mark Lecapelain with another question. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I actually have a couple. I guess the first one, the notification is sent to the work crew that you have an oncoming train or track unit. Is that visual or audible, or is it both?
Yes, actually, it is visual. You will see on the handheld devices, as well as the alert modules on the side of the track. You will see lights flashing on the handheld devices. You will also hear, and the alert modules, you'll hear a siren that will be that will go off. Then also on the wearable devices, there will be a haptic or a vibration that the workers will feel. So that way they're covered from 3 different senses to get their notification of an oncoming train.
No, that's perfect because up here in the north with winter, you likely won't feel the vibration when you have your winter jacket on and such. That's great. Second question I have: can those sensors be activated by the flagman, or does it have to be activated by a train or track unit passing through?
Those alerts can be generated either by the detection module or the flagger module, or the handheld device, or the roadway worker in charge as well.
Okay, so he has a button that he could activate the sensors if he needed to?
That's correct. If the flagger decides to alert the crew prior to the locomotive passing over top of the detection module, they may choose to do so.
Excellent. And then the last question, from a battery life perspective, I would imagine some of our temporary jobs might span a day or two. I assume the batteries can just be swapped out if you just access directly where the track unit's installed.
With our portable backup batteries, you will be able to extend the battery life of our units, essentially hot swapping with our portable battery backups. You can unhook the portable device from the battery backup, plug in a new battery into it, and then you can take that other battery, bring it back to a charging location, and be set for any of those jobs that require more than 24 hours.
Excellent. Thank you.
Very good. Kumar was experiencing some issues with his microphone. His question is, how does your system perform in case of inclement weather, rain, snow?
Our system performs very well in inclement weather. We are based in Winona, Minnesota. We have actually tested during our initial testing phase of our product, tested it in heavy snowstorms and received positive train detections with no issue.
So no false alerts?
Correct. Because based off of our patented sensor technology, our system requires all of our sensors to be triggered in order to actually give an alert. So, for example, if it sees the snow going in front of the radar or lidar, it will not set off the alarm because it does not feel the vibration of the train.
Okay, thank you.
Very well. I think that the presentation has been amazing. Thank you so much, Kevin and Brent, for your time and for really getting into the details and answering all our questions. So again, thank you. Thank you for everybody who participated today in asking these questions that maybe others had or were not clear on. So thank you. We are looking forward to meeting you again in person soon enough. And for everybody who is enjoying these webinars, I want to encourage you to go on our website again. We will be offering another webinar in 2 weeks, October 26th. We will be having a webinar on low carbon concrete, the Eglinton LRT case study. So we will be speaking about sustainability at work instead of safety at work. We're looking forward to hearing from Lorena Proietti from Ellis Dawn, and you can go right now to our website to register for that. So here's the information. That's the information. Sustainability at work, low carbon concrete, the Eglinton LRT case study. Again, thank you everybody, and you are welcome to email us at any time to propose new webinars, to ask for specific topics, and again, to join us on our upcoming events. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Andrea.
Thank you.
Much.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
You too. Thank you.